Hi, I'm Jeff with J&G Construction, and welcome to my first YouTube video. Next to me, I have a pile of rough sawn wood that was taken directly from the mill, and we're going to learn some processing today. This is the piece we're going to be processing today. As you can see, it has some black on it, and the surface is rough, and both edges are rough from the mill, and we're going to be straightening the edges. We're going to be planing the faces, and the finished product will look something like this individual board here that looks very similar to that before I planed it and processed it. So I will get started. Alright, our first step over here at the planer is to determine how thick our board is, because we don't want to take more than 1/16 of an inch off at the planer. So our board is about 1 inch thick. So I will set my planer to 15/16. Most planers, whether it's this floor model Grizzly that I have, it's a model G0453, really like this planer, or whether it's a benchtop planer, this process can be done. As you can see in the step one of the processing, that the planer has removed all the stains and the rough marks from the boards. I planed both sides, and I wanted to leave it as thick as I could, so I didn't take it down to 3/4, but if you wanted to take it down to 3/4 to make cabinet doors or face frame material, you can definitely do that with this process. You can also see that the edges are completely rough, and we're going to fix that and straight line those on the table saw here in a minute. And you'll notice the end grain that makes the rainbow and the wood in the end grain. And what that does is you want to run that face down. You want to run so that the crown of the wood is facing up and it's hitting on both edges on your first pass, and the bottom of that rainbow is on the bottom of your planer, and the crown is facing up, because that will flatten out your board, and then when you flip it over, you have a flat surface to plane the back side of the board. Okay. We're here at the table saw, and I have taken guard off just for demonstration purposes only. I usually run that table saw with the guard on it. And I'm going to explain this jig. First, our board does not have straight edges, just the way it came from the mill. So I'm going to set this jig here. And I'm going to set our workpiece on top of it. And what we want is about 1 inch of this board to overhang the jig below. Now this jig I built myself, and it was off of a fine woodworking magazine, based on plans from the fine woodworking magazine. And so what we're going to do with the jig is this straight edge of the board is going to ride up against the fence on the table saw. And as the board is clamped to this piece, that will provide a straight edge to run on the table saw. It will be cut this edge off to provide the straight edge. Next, I want to measure. So it's about 13 1/4 from this edge to this edge, and so I want to be about a 1/2 inch less than that to make up for any waves or anything like that. So I want to rip it about 12 3/4. Set this off to 12 3/4. Couple safety things on the table saw. After you've run your piece through, you don't want to reach over the running saw blade to get your piece. That could cause an injury with the blade. So shut the saw off and then go meet your piece or your strap is the safest way to do that. And then the next thing on table saw safety is making the blade too high over the workpiece. I try to keep it somewhere between about an eighth to 1/4 of an inch at the most. We have a straight edge on the board. We can use a straight edge on the board to run it up against the fence to get our pieces that we want to be 2 1/2 inches wide, because our finished product will be 2 3/8. Set the table saw to 2 1/2. Then I set my board up next to my blade, lower my blade down. And then I'm also going to use this push stick with the board that's close to the blade. back here at the planer, and these boards are 1/8 of an inch wider than we need them to be. And what we're going to do is we're going to run them on edge, and why we're running them on edge because when we ran them through the table saw, they put the saw curves in the edge of the board and take out these black marks as well. So I have set the planer up and we're gonna run these on edge. Today, we've taken a rough sawn piece of wood that we've gotten directly from the sawmill, directly off the pile, and we've turned it into a usable board that could be used to make boxes or cabinet doors or just about any other woodworking process. This is a process that can be done for a variety of applications, and this is a beautiful piece of quarter sawn white oak. Thank you for watching.